So promotion, what's the first thing we do? What's the most ideal way to attack this rise in standards? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is look at the squad. I'm going to take out the players from the starting 11 that I don't think will be good enough to start in the top division. So we speculated about this and I've had a look at it. Now, the major surgery is going to have to take place in defence because it's basically not good enough. So I'm going to remove all these players who I don't think will be starting next season. But I'm also torn because I want to remain quite loyal to these boys that got us up and give them a bit of a chance. Initial thoughts, it'll look like this. I'm willing to give these boys a chance with just maybe 4 new starters if we can get them. Right, so next we fly over to the bench, and I've already removed players I don't think that will be there next season. So you can see there's a few gaps there, and we'll replace these gaps with the guys that we've left out of the starting 11. And bang, there we go. Now we've got a bench of 9, so I'm quite happy with that. I've got a backup of 9. I just need to sort out the starting 11 now, so that gives us a good guide on what to do. The next thing I want to do is release as much funds as possible because we do not have a lot of money. You know that, I know that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to filters here. I'm going to drop it down to contracts, and everybody that's about to come out of contract, let's get them set for release now so the board then know how much money we're going to have to play with. So now I've got about 8 or 9 players there that I can set for release, and that'll just release a bit of the funds for the budget for next season, which will help us with a bit of planning. So if you're unsure about what sort of level your team should be at, I like to go to the division you're about to go into and have a look at the teams that have got relegated. Now look at the best of the bunch there. Arusa, they've been relegated, and this is their key players, captains. Have a little look at them and you can kind of judge what sort of levels they're at. Key player for them is Oriol Busquets, and you can see that he's a pretty decent player. He's kind of in our attribute range in areas, so the player level is going to be pretty decent. In fact, look at his value of 10.5 to 12.5 million. Instantly, I'm getting worried now because my top player is 2 million. So you can even take that a step further by selecting a player who's comparable to this player. So Busquets is their defensive midfielder, I'd say. So I've got a comparison and compare with. In our squad, it's probably Capellas. So we'll select Capellas, and there you can see. Now, Capellas is pretty decent in the overall polygon. There's not a lot between them. If you go to attributes as well, you can really get down and have a look at what you think they are lacking. Are they ahead? For the averages here, we're not in a bad place. So for me, I can kind of eliminate that position in regards to needing to upgrade because I think we're going to be okay. I do that for the whole team, so I'll have a little look at what they've got. So their striker, who was the main man was Christo here. He bagged 9 goals. And looking at him, to be fair, this gives me a bit of hope because I think Fletcher is arguably better than him, and this guy bagged 9 goals, so maybe Fletcher might be capable of getting 12 to 13. And I'll have a look at every position now. This is their centre-back who started. I think ours aren't far off that, and that's probably our weakest position, so maybe we can be more competitive than I first thought. Now look, in an ideal world, my attribute range for this top division will be between 16 and 20, and let's be honest, we're not going to get there yet, but if we can get some areas covering a 16, it's like the holy grail. And Fletcher's got some. We're saying Fletcher because he's probably going to be the key player. He's finishing his 16 and his acceleration and balance are up there. So we're going to have to grab little plucks of hope like that for this first season, which is all about survival. Saying that though, whenever we do go scouting and ask Umbo and Penza and the scouting team for a player, we need some players that will hit that attribute range. Otherwise, we're just going to go backwards and fast. Now, speaking of the staff, at this level, in our league, we have the best coaching team and probably the best recruitment team. When we go up, that's going to drop like a rock, So your next job is to upgrade your staff. Now, hopefully, like me, you've got a bit lucky and most of the contracts are about to expire. So we're going to have a good look from the assistant manager downwards and all these coaches. I want them to get an attribute level similar to what we're looking for in player range. 99% of the time, when you get promoted, especially to a top division, your staff allowed numbers will go up. For example, our coaching staff, we're allowed another 2 or 3 extra. Same goes with the recruitment team. This is your chance to upgrade. And that's exactly what we have done. If you look at this now, this is our coaching team and it's considerably bigger. We brought in some quality coaches. One you might recognise, RVP, Robin Van Persie. He's going to be our new striker coach. And he's a good example of the sort of upgrade that you want for your team. Not only that, we've upgraded our scouts as well with a decent knowledge of the world now. How about Stefan Chapuisat? He is an elite scout. Look at that. For his attributes, he's fantastic. His knowledge is not as wide as Mpenza, But to judge a player to get a final decision, he's probably the man. On the flip side of that, I took on Jeremy Menez. Now, his attributes aren't great, but look at his knowledge base. France, Portugal, Belgium, Spain, Italy, a few African nations as well. So if you take that philosophy and you get yourself a good mixture of scouts, it's going to open up your recruitment. A little Easter egg for you. Do you remember Diego Volante, who is now our director of football? Well, Z Volante retired, and he's now our head of youth development. Might seem like a balmy decision when you look at his attributes, but to be fair, our youth intakes have been disgusting. We haven't had a good one yet, and that was with a really good head of youth development, so I'm giving him the job, and he's a hell of a lot cheaper. So our staffing levels look like that, and this is for the new season going into the top division. And coaching team, that's not bad, is it? We've still got some elite coaches. That Robin Van Persie one was elite for the best attacking. He's helping out there. Technique is good, goalkeeping's really good, and you've got to believe that's going to be pretty important this season. Now the recruitment team, it doesn't look great. It's probably more down to the amount of numbers we've got there, but we'll do our best. And as for the medical staff, I think it's my nan doing it. So we've upgraded our staff now. We're ready for this league campaign. The one thing we haven't done though is upgrade the team. We're in the big time now, remember? We're in the big time with some big boys. Porto, Benfica, Sporting, Braga, the list goes on. This is scary. If you look at the season preview, they've got us at 600 to 1. I'm actually amazed that we're down to finish 14th. I will take that right now, thank you. And as a footnote, previous winners of this league, if you go right back to the start when we started, so Benfica took it first season, Porto took it back twice, so back to back, then Benfica claimed it back to back, and last season, Porto claimed it. So them two are trading places. 600 to 1 though. So who have we brought in? You're expecting to see a sea of people, right? Well, there's 5. So this is the man we've spent some money on. It was £100,000. It rises to 450 over about 4 or 5 years. So it's still a dirt cheap one. He came in from Benfica. This is Gaspar. He can play centre-back, or more importantly, he can also play as a left-back as well. I feel like the sell-on value of this man could be huge. Also from Benfica is Gustavo Ferreira. Now he's a striker. He's only on loan, but he is out of contract at the end of the season. So if he likes it here, he could be a keeper. He's going to rotate with Luca Fletcher. He's very good. We might have our new Brazilian keeper. This is Mateus Donelli. Is he as good as Breno? Probably not. But at 27 years old, he's not bad. Attributes are actually on the rise. He is an upgrade on Cooper. Remember Capellas last season from the Spanish lower leagues? We've done it again with Riquelme Maria. He's actually came from the 4th division in Portugal. I'm not sure what to do with him yet, so I'd love to know what you think in the comments. He's down as an advanced playmaker, but he hasn't got a great first touch, and dribbling's not great, but his flair is off the charts. So I'm wondering what to retrain him as. And right at the end, we've used the last of our wages on Ruben Vinagre. Now he's a left back, he's been around, you've probably heard of him. He's been at Sporting, at Wolves, a few places. He gives us the option for a slightly different take on our tactic if we need it, and a bit of experience. So 5 in, and starter wise probably 2 or 3. It's been an absolute disaster this pre-season in terms of recruitment. A disaster. 3.5 million in debt. It's the most we've been in debt yet, which meant our transfer budget got slashed as soon as we bought Gaspar. No wages for loans. Help. So tactically, we are able to field the team. At the minute, that's the way it's set up. You'll notice Menji here, our centre-back from last season. I'm going to move him over to right-back this season. It's going to be super solid. What I plan to do, when everyone is fit, is to have 4 centre-backs across that defence. A lot like what Pep's doing at the minute. We're going to try it, because I think we're going to be under so much pressure this season. That's what I'm going to do. So when Fernandez is fit, he's currently injured, he's going to jump into there, and Gaspar will move across. So we'll have 2 centre-backs as full-backs and 2 centre-backs in the middle. A half-back's probably overkill. We might switch him to anchor, but I'm getting ready for a tough season. But you've got to have a plan B. You've got to have a plan B, and this is ours here into slot number 2. I'm going to move the wing-back to an attacking wing-back, and that's where our new man comes in. Vinagre will jump in there as an attacking wing-back. He's going to have to cover that entire flank, so he's going to have a bit of ground to cover, but we're going to move this guy in. Now, the other option, because in a high likelihood, our best 2 players are going to be the 2 strikers, is this. We move it a little bit further forward, because Ferreira, he's got the capability of playing as a complete forward. So we might get a bit brave and go 2 up front. But that's all dependent on if our original tactic from last season doesn't fire. We had 280,000 going into this pre-season. It was never going to be easy. I did not expect it to be quite that hard. That squad is smaller than last season and only marginally better. I need to get some late loans and hope that we can do Man City style and get them for free. True to form, there was a League Cup before the season started, and we got through the first round pretty easily. I rotated a bit, and we lost on penalties in the second round. I don't think we've ever got past that round, which means we're set, we're ready to start. We're up against Firenze, who we played last season, at home, so we've got a good chance to get off to a good start. And just looking down that list, them first 5 games are important, because after that first 5 games, it's then Benfica, and then it's Derby Day against Porto. The realisation hits. This is going to be brutal, but we've got the staff. We've got somewhat of a squad. It's not what I wanted. We'll keep trying till deadline day, but we've got somewhat of a squad. My question to you is, where do you think we're going to finish? If you gave me 15th now,